give me a moment to join you. Oh, good morning, everyone. So come on in. We'll start with that mountain pose. Just gonna straighten up my mat here a little bit. Oh, I can roll your shoulders a couple of times. And then just move through your feet a little bit. Just feel the ground. Feel the ground underneath you. And then as you start to kind of place the foot completely onto the floor, lift your toes. So lift the toes. When we lift the toes, right, then we start to feel the bottom of our feet a little more. So as your toes are lifted and you're just kind of shifting side to side a bit, start to notice where the weight is in your foot as you're shifting around. And what we're going to look for is placing that weight equally into kind of all four corners of our feet. So with toes lifted, that's going to be the ball of the foot all the way across and both sides of the heel. My knees are a little bit soft. If I feel that my ankles are rolling in, right, I want to try to open them up a little bit. If I feel they're rolling out, rolling in, right? So it might not feel natural to you, and that's okay. Right? I just want you to try to find that evenness and notice if it feels a little unnatural. So for me, I tend to roll in. I tend to overpronate. So when I roll out a little bit, it feels unnatural, but I just want to play with that for a bit. Spread my toes, try to lay my toes down, and then take your toes and grip the ground. Notice that as soon as you grip the ground, that's activating what we call our pada bandha, the foot grip. We call it short foot. Right, so I'm going to grip the ground. Notice what happens through the rest of your body when you grip the ground. Right, let go and grip it. Do you feel some action start to happen here? So when our pada bandha, our foot lock, is very interconnected with our mula bandha, our pelvic lock. So when we grip the feet, we also begin to actively engage the pelvic lock. So think about your pelvic floor muscles squeezing your tailbone, your belly pulling to your spine, and your shoulders rolling down the back. And here's where you can close your eyes for a moment if you like. So we're going to really work some balancing today. And in balancing more than anywhere else, that pada bandha, that foot lock, and that mula bandha, that pelvic lock, are very important. It's what helps us balance. So right here we have both feet in the ground, but I want you to feel that engagement. With your eyes closed, right, you can really tune more into the feel. Notice the feet, right? Your feet are actively engaged. They're holding on. Your toes might even be cramping slightly. Let them go if they are cramping. But I want you to notice that strength. And then we'll bring the palms of the hands together, lift the thumbs to our heart, taking a moment to set that intention. That may be like what brought you to class, let that guide you. So maybe it's curiosity. Maybe you heard we were doing balance and you're like, I really need to work balance. Let your reason for showing up be your intention, be your guide. When you're ready, you can tuck that chin down towards your chest. Gently flutter your eyes open with the gaze down. Take an inhale. As you exhale, release the arms to your side. And as you inhale, reach the arms up overhead, interlacing the fingers. Open the palms to the ceiling, reaching up. And we're going to start that first back bend right here by pressing the hips forward, opening the heart. Try to pull the biceps back by the ears. Take one more nice big inhale. And on our exhale, bend the knees, let the back round, forward fold. Hanging here in ragdoll for a few breaths. You can take your feet a little wider if that feels better, or a little closer. Let your body sway side to side. Now we will do a couple of vinyasas in this class. You can skip them altogether. I'll talk about that. You could use a chair. You could do them against your wall. Anytime you don't like hanging upside down, a chair is fabulous, right? So imagine a chair right here in front of me. And I can just rest my hands onto the seat or even the back of the chair. And I don't have to hang all the way upside down. Those of us that aren't all the way upside down on our inhale, we'll start to lift that chest halfway, bring our hands onto our shins, press our tailbone one way, pull the shoulder blades down the back, pull the ears away from the shoulders. Nice flat back. Take an inhale. Exhale, knees bend just a little bit. Weight shifts into the heels. Inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, here comes those vinyasas, forward fold. So my hands can come to the ground. They could rest up on a chair or even the wall. From here, step back into your plank. I can do a plank on the wall or that chair as well. Hold for a nice inhale here. Inhale. On our exhale, chaturanga, lower our weight all the way down to the ground. And on our inhale, we're going to lift up just into this baby cobra, just lifting up through our chest. Take an inhale. On the exhale, press the earth away onto the knees, push back into child's pose. So if you're not on the floor, right, you could be pushing back off the wall. It looks like most of you came to the floor with me, I believe. But I do want to give you that option. A couple of breaths here in child's pose. This pose is here for you at any time to explore. From here, if you're feeling good, we'll go ahead and come up to all fours, take our toes, curl them under. Into that first downward facing dog, walk out your heels, lifting and lowering them. Again, I could be doing all of this pushing off of a wall. So we don't want you to ever feel that you can't come to this class because we do too many vinyasas. You never have to come down to that ground. Nice. And then maybe working to lower both heels to the ground at the same time. Lift the tailbone. Pull the ears down between the biceps. You look amazing. Look at this huge group of people we have in here. On our inhale, we'll bend the knees. We'll look towards our thumbs and just walk the feet forward. Exhale, release all that tension in the forward fold. On the inhale, lift that chest halfway. On the exhale, the knees bend a little bit. And on the inhale, rise all the way up to the top. Bring the palms of the hands together. So palms of the hands are going to come together like this. And they're straight up overhead, lifting that heart so your thumbs face the ground. Your fingers face the back. Your hands are in prayer. Beautiful. Taking that back bend. Now engage the neck. So I'm not just letting go of the neck. The neck is engaged. Take the inhale. On the exhale, as you rise up, hands come through our heart. Forward fold down. Inhale, lift that chest halfway. Exhale, we're going to step back to our plank. Hold through your inhale. And on your exhale, lower all the way down to the ground. This time, as we inhale, pull those elbows into your rib cage. Maybe rise all the way up through the belly or almost to right where like a belt buckle would be. Pull the shoulder blades down the back. Squeeze the glutes. Open the chest. Beautiful. Take the inhale. On the exhale, start to push up. Curl the toes. Downward facing dog. Nice. On our inhale, that right leg's going to rise to the sky. And on our exhale, that right leg's going to start to open up. So my hips open to the right. That right knee bends. Now I can do this right here on my hands and knees as well. So you don't have to be in that down dog position. We're just working to open the lower part of our hips. Then on an inhale, come back up center. On the exhale, we're going to step this right foot through to our hands or walk it. Slide that left foot behind you. Drop the left knee. You can keep your toes curled under or place the top of the foot on the mat, whatever feels good to you. Inhale, arms come up, dragon pose. Pull the shoulders down the back. Open the chest. And beginning to stretch out through that left hip flexor. So all these pieces that we're building together is going to kind of help us when we get to our balancing kind of peak pose. My goal this week, my pose peaking this week, it's always a little bit different to get to it in the various classes, but working towards dancer. Take the inhale. On the exhale, plant the hands down, curl the back left toes. You can step back into your down dog, or if anybody wants that power of taking an extra vinyasa here, lowering through your chaturanga, cobra or up dog, into your downward facing dog. Beautiful. Then we'll inhale, that left leg will rise. We'll open the left hip. So remember, I can be on my right knee. I can actually be 100% standing in this. I can be on my wall, right? Twisting and opening. So I do not even have to be hands on the floor. Then on an inhale, closing that. And on an exhale, stepping that left foot through. And slide that right leg long, that right knee to the ground. It can stay up as well, my friends. And then inhale, arms come up, dragon. So this back right knee could also be up. Beautiful. Opening that heart. Stretch that hip flexor. Take the inhale. On the exhale, plant the hands down, curl the back toe under. Again, if I want that power of adding in an extra vinyasa, I do not have to. Right? I can go to some cat-cows, I can go to a child's pose, I can simply meet in downward facing dog. On our inhale, we'll bend the knees, shift the gaze, walk, step, or maybe take your little float forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way to the top. Palms of the hands are going to come together. Chest is going to open. Beautiful. Then on our exhale, big swan dive right back down. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant your hands coming through your plank. Meet me on your belly. I'm just going to lower my camera so you'll be able to see me better down on the belly. So we're going to lower all the way down to our belly. And work a little more back bending from here, starting to work some binding. So bending the right knee, reach for the top of the right foot. My left hand can come a little bit here in front of me. I can come up onto my elbow for support. And I'm going to lift that right quad up off the ground. My chest can be all the way down. My chest can be up, right? It all depends on my flexibility here. But I'm getting deeper into the opening of that hip flexor. Take the inhale. On the exhale, release. We'll try that on the other side. So reaching back for the left foot. I didn't say this on the first side, sorry. Wrap the hand over the top of the foot, thumb to toe, thumb to big toe, lift. Hanging out right here. Release. Now I can do each side one more time, or I can bend both, reaching for both feet, maybe staying right here, maybe wrapping the hands over, thumb to big toe, maybe lifting it all up into full bow, right? This can be pretty intense. You can stay here on single side. You can also lift without touching your feet. So I could just be reaching back. We are all individuals. We're only worried about where we can be. Take the inhale. On the exhale, start to release. Hands underneath the chest. Press onto your knees and back to downward facing dog. Couple of breaths in down dog. Feel that release through your spine. And on our inhale, that right leg will rise. Exhale, we'll step the right foot through. And inhale, we'll come up into that high lunge. Nice. Take an inhale here. On the exhale, my right hand is going to open up and reach down, and my left arm is going to reach up and over. So I'm taking a reverse lunge, but I'm twisted. So a lot of times we do it so the left hand is on the left leg, right? But this time that right hand is just hanging out down there. A little bit more balance challenge. I'm doing it in lunge position. I could bring that left heel into warrior position if that helps me. Nice. Take the inhale, and on the exhale, rainbow the hands down. Step back into your down dog. We're going to take it right into the other side. Inhale, left leg rises. Step it through. Inhale, rise up. All right, this time the left arm's going to drop back. Right arm stays up. Feel the wobbliness. Working towards that balance here. Take the inhale. On the exhale, rainbow the hands down. Step back into downward facing dog. Oh, take a breath, right? Maybe that heart rate went up a little bit. On our inhale, we're going to bend the knees, shift the gaze, walk, step, or float the feet forward. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, release. And as we inhale, we're going to come up and bring that left knee up. So this is where we're going to start to play with that dancer. So it's going to look like I'm not mirroring you here, but I want to turn and face you. So your left knee is up. I'm going to put knee to knee. Left knee is bent behind me. Left arm reaches down. Great. Bow pose. We were right here on the floor. Lift. And then maybe hinge into that dancer. So we've done all of these pieces. We're just doing it standing now. If I can't connect to my foot, no worries. I can be right here. I am still chest opening. I am still back bending. If you've done some other yoga with me this week, right, this pose has kind of been, we've built to it in different ways, depending if it were a vinyasa class, a beginner class, or now peace and power. This has been our focus this week. Take the inhale. On the exhale, release. And on the inhale, bring that right knee up. Beautiful. Right knee drops to the left knee. Right hand comes behind. Right? Same thing. I could stay right here. I could just open my heart here. I can pull the knee out. I can hinge. Playing with that dancer on the other side. Gorgeous. If you fall out of it, just come back into it. Now, some of you might have, the flexibility. I can't even model it, but some people can, then really pull this foot up and, both hands can grab the foot. I don't know if Lindsay may be able to do that, but I cannot. So I'll have to find a picture to show you. But you all look beautiful and gorgeous. And we'll step out of it. Take a big inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Allow yourself to just fold here. So we're moving towards peace. So we were doing a lot of back bending in our power portion. So we will come into more rounding for our peace portion, just to kind of balance out all of that chest opening, back squeezing. So hanging out here a little bit in this forward fold. Remember, you can be hands on a chair. From here, whether your hands are on the floor or a chair, whether your chest is folded or lifted, we're just going to take our left foot, cross it behind the right foot. And I'm going to work to bring my pinky toes as close as they come to each other. They're not going to line up. And then let your weight shift a little bit to the right so you feel even. And then think about either pulling the crown of the head a little lower to the ground, or if that chest is lifted, you can think about just lowering the belly. And feel that stretch come down that back left leg, that IT band. Just like we started in the beginning of the class where we wobbled around on our feet, do that here, looking for that place where the stretch is just perfect for you. And then on our inhale, we'll lift our chest up a little bit, uncross our legs. We'll get the other side in a moment, but first we're going to step our feet wide from each other and let our hands come up onto our quads. I'm going to squat down a little bit and lower my chest so it's parallel to the ground. Take your right shoulder, so my right hand can come inside my inner thigh. Let that right shoulder come in, pull long through my spine, and then start the twist from the belly, the sternum, and then through the chin as you look over your left shoulder. Right, so all that back work that we were doing in the chest opener, getting a nice stretch, mainly through the right upper back here. A couple more breaths. Let yourself come center. It's okay, wiggle around a little bit, roll your head out. We'll set it up on the other side. So left shoulder will come in. My left hand just braces somewhere along the inner thigh. Pull the spine long. Think about twisting the belly first, then the sternum, then the chin. Sometimes you'll get a little cracking in there. We're not trying to force cracking, so don't push so hard to try to make your back crack. But if you get a little bit of natural, that's just your spine adjusting, those little air pockets in there. You don't ever want to try to force it unless you're a chiropractor and you know exactly what you're doing. And then come center, we'll step our feet together, hanging back into that forward fold or leaning on our chair. And then this time we'll take the right foot behind the left, lining up those pinky toes the best we can, shift the weight a little bit to the left, and think about either bringing your nose down to your ankle, or my chest can stay lifted. So here my chest is still a little bit lifted. I'm just trying to lower my belly a bit. My hands could be on my chair, a desk, yoga blocks. And then once again, wiggle around through the feet till you find that place where the stretch feels just right to you. Take a few more breaths. Lift that chest up a little bit, uncross our feet, and just come down to our knees. Our knees can come apart, our big toes together, and set back into child's pose. Let child's pose feel as good as it can possibly feel for you. So if that means you want to stretch a little more in it, then, reach through your hands. If it means it's like, oh, I just want to lay here like a baby and close my eyes and sleep, right? That's okay too. Let child's pose be exactly what you want it to be. Feel your breath soften. Feel the tension in your body. So, right, we needed some tension to be able to balance and to back bend and to move through a lot of those things. But now we can feel the body letting go, moving to yin. And on our inhale, we'll slowly take our time coming up, lower on to our bottom. We'll make our way down to our back. If laying on your back doesn't sound pleasant to you, what we're going to do down there is this pretzel stretch where I would kind of line my knees up. So we'll either be on our back and hug our knees in. If you'd rather set, you can hinge forward here. So if you're good with coming to your back, right? We'll do that same thing. We'll cross a knee over the opposite knee and just hug our knees into our chest. If you prefer to stay seated at this point, same position, but instead of pulling the knees into you, you would round your chest towards the knees. Now your left hand is on your right calf. If you want to gently pull the calf in towards the left armpit. Did I say that wrong? Your left arm's on your right calf, left hand on right calf. Pull the right lower part of your leg towards your left armpit. That'll deepen the stretch into that right hip. If you don't like this position at all, a 4 stretch is also a great alternative, which is where our ankle is on our knee. And we'll place that left foot on the ground, reach that right foot to the sky. If you were seated, just reach that right leg long out in front of you. Roll your ankle around. And if you're seated, you can fold into the right leg. If you're on your back, you can gently pull the right leg towards your chest, maybe straightening your left leg, maybe keeping it bent. And we'll release and just hug that right knee in towards the chest for just a couple of breaths. And then the left leg will come over the right. We'll repeat that on the other side. So left leg is on top. We're folding into our legs, or we're pulling our legs into our chest if we're on our back. Right hand on left shin, little gentle extra tug, or a deeper stretch in the left hip. Let yourself be in this time and space. Right? Try to not worry about how much time is left. Just try to let yourself be lost in the time, the moment. Maybe just imagining a standstill. Let yourself be anywhere you want to be right now. Release that right leg to the ground, lifting the left leg through the sky, roll the ankle, or extending the left leg out long in front of you. Flexing the foot, press the heel towards the ceiling, coming into that hamstring stretch. Right knee can stay bent or straighten it. And a little hug of the left knee into the chest. And then reach the feet one way, reach the arms the other. Long stretch. And then just give yourself a nice hug by pulling the knees into the chest, and you can rock side to side if you like. You could stay here or take more of a happy baby where you grab your feet. Whichever place feels best to you today in this moment. Maybe roll your head side to side. Letting yourself be anywhere that you want to be. Release your legs out long and your arms at your sides. As you come into Shavasana, I invite you to stay here a little longer if that fits in your schedule. I'll close the meeting out. So you can stay or not stay. You don't have to worry about what anyone else is doing. It's all completely up to you. May you have a beautiful day and a beautiful weekend. Namaste.